Hello YouTubers, this week we'll be doing something new. We're going to discuss Wegovy for veterans, and this is going to be week number 1. Hello YouTubers, today I'm going to do something a little bit different than my normal videos. One of the things I want to do is I want to try to give help out to those veterans like myself who are interested or wish to go on the weight loss program such as Wegovy, and which I've already started about a week ago. But some of the things I'm going to try to do is answer a lot of questions and try to give you some helpful advice as far as the steps you should take or my recommendations of what has worked out for me. To start out, I would contact the VA, talk to your care provider, and get their recommendations and tell them this is something that you're very interested in doing. They may or may not kind of give you any kind of advice for it, although what I have found is the first thing that they'll say is that you have to have the 16-week program done of MOVE, which is their weight loss program. Before they put you on any kind of a medication, that's what they're going to want done first. So now the way I started out is the first thing I did is I joined GeoFit. GeoFit is a fantastic program. Again, give the VA a call and ask to talk to somebody in physical therapy that you want to talk to. You have some questions concerning the GeoFit program. The GeoFit program is a program, it's actually an exercise program which they hold 5 days a week. Mondays and Tuesdays, Thursdays and Fridays are from 9:30 to 10:30. And then on Wednesdays, it runs from 12:30 to 1:30, with the exception of holidays which they don't have. They won't not be holding GeoFit those days. The GeoFit is always held. Each day is going to be a different physical therapist. And they also have trainers working with you as well. It's all done online. All you need to do is have comfortable shoes like tennis shoes. They don't want you to be in bare feet or socks. They want you to have a shirt, pair of shorts or pants, and of course your camera with a microphone. You also will need to have a regular chair. That's a straight back chair, something that is not on wheels or is not a rocker. So your regular office chair is not going to work. Now what they'll do is you'll tell them that you're interested in it, and then they would give you a call. They might not talk to you that day, but they will eventually give you a call, and they'll have you visit them or join them, and it's via Zoom. And again, they'll supply all the links and they'll send an invitation. I have found that the MOVE program, or not, take that back, the GeoFit program is fantastic. It was hard for me to get started on it, just because I procrastinate. I get up in the morning, I don't feel like doing anything, or I'll get up and then I'll start dozing off in the chair, and I'm too lazy to get up off my butt and get behind the camera, in front of the camera, and start watching it. This is a live action program, and as the time went on, I got to enjoy it more and more. And now I basically do it 4 days a week. The exercise classes that they hold on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays and Fridays are standard exercise classes, each held by a different instructor or therapist, along with one of 2 different physical trainers. The other one on Thursdays is yoga. That's something that's entirely different, at least for me it was. And some people like it, some people don't. But basically, if you enjoy doing yoga or something that you think you might like, you can actually exercise with them 5 days a week. They also have pre-recorded videos that you can watch. Like if you want to watch it during the weekends, or you can't make it, or for some reason you can't attend the class on the scheduled time, you can watch it online on YouTube. So the way the typical class starts out is that after they go through a small screensaver or a PowerPoint presentation where they talk about this different upcoming events through the VA, they give you some reminders, and then they want to be reassured that you are dressed properly, that you're in an environment that is hazard free, and so on and so forth. After that, it starts out, and there'll be about 5 minutes of warm up. Don't take my word for it as far as time ways, but this is basically how it runs. But like I said, there's 5 minutes of warm up where they're going to run you through a few very simple exercises just to kind of get the blood flowing a little bit. Everybody does everything at their own pace. You've got all types of people in there in different physical conditions. Some sit down and they don't do anything other than sit from the seating position. And they give you examples of how to do those exercises. Others do it standing up. But as I was saying, you start out, you do 5 minutes of warm-up. After that, there's approximately 15 minutes of cardio, where they go through 3 sessions or 3 sets of 4 or 5 different exercises, whichever they may choose to follow. And after that, that's just basically to kind of get your heart beating and get you ready and get you rolling. After that, then they have about three segments of strength building. Those will vary from day to day and month to month. That's something that's very, I've learned it's very fun to do. Again, cardio and the strength is something that you do within your own parameters. If it's too hard, if it hurts, stop. If you feel stressed, stop. And they will guide you through that. The important thing is they're going to want to see you during this entire time. So if you're going to step away from the screen, you let them know. Because otherwise, if you disappear for a while, they don't know if you've fallen or if you've collapsed or what. But I digress. I'm kind of getting off track. After you finish up the strength, then they'll do a balance section where they'll run you through some basic balance exercises. These are no stress. Might be walking toe to toe, might be standing on one foot or one leg. You do what you can do, but the important thing is that you're getting something done and you're getting some activity in it. The final step or the stage of the GeoFit is cool down, and then you're just doing simple stretches and then maybe bending or stretching one way or the other, but just to help your body cool down naturally. Of course, you get breaks in between every segment. They advise you to make sure you keep some water there right with you. So at the end of each segment, you can take a sip of water, take a little drink of what one of the trainers calls H2O. But anyway, it's a very enjoyable thing. So that's something I've been doing this for about a year. Actually, it's been a year because I just had my 1-year evaluation. They will evaluate you after, I believe it's 3 months, and then it'll be 6 months. So, and then they kind of monitor how you're doing, and then they do it again after a year. So, I have found that these therapists are very enjoyable to sit and watch and talk to, and and experience their training. It's a great thing to do, and even the trainers are a lot of fun to listen to and enjoy. Again, this is a live thing. You're watching and you're interacting with them as well at the same time. So, yes, you're doing it on Zoom, but it's almost like being there. And you're doing it at your own pace. There's no embarrassment. So much for GeoFit. The MOVE program, which is something that the VA will probably recommend or have anybody who wants to go on Wegovy or any of the diet medications, they'll want you to go through the MOVE program. The MOVE program, as I said, is 16 weeks. And they will have a book, and this is like the workbook that I got that they send you. And you'll go through it section at a time, week at a time. You'll meet, there'll be a nutritionist. There'll also be a therapist there, and they do have a doctor that's in there, and we'll have short. They'll have a section or a time that they will be talking to you. So I apologize, I'm getting a little tongue tied, but they will explain all that to you. The MOVE program, now I went through it once a long time ago. And the first time I went through it was before they had the internet going on. They didn't have video or Zoom or webinars or whatever. It was where you had to meet at the VA, and it's like you would meet I think it was about once a week, and then but anyway, this is, again, it's all done online. It's virtual, and so I can't say what the times are from right offhand. I don't really recall. They seem to run for about an hour and a half, so they were rather lengthy, and so, but you get a lot out of it. They talk, they monitor you monitor your weight, and it's a honor system where you weigh yourself and you tell them what your weight is for that day. They give you objectives, and you try to meet those objectives. And if you don't get a lecture. They just help you. And and they also explain what some foods are good and some foods are bad. Some foods are okay. They'll answer a lot of questions. Case in point, I was always confused about bananas, and where I was always told you eat fruit, eat as much fruit as you want. Bananas are great for you. They're good potassium. And then I found out I heard that bananas was high in sugar. So as having diabetes myself, I was torn. Well, can I eat them or can't I eat them? They will help you through with that. They will talk you through it, and they will give you advice. And they'll also go over the different foods as far as the good fats and the bad fats, and how you don't want to cut yourself too low on calories. You want to make sure you have your proteins. They want to make sure that you have your fibers. They'll make sure that you eat enough where you have as much calories that your body should take. If you try to short your body on calories or try fasting, then you could be losing your muscle weight, and that can be dangerous for you. So it's something that's very unhealthy. So they help you get that fine balance. And that's something that I've been working on for quite a long time. I found that this time around, it has been very beneficial. For me, I didn't happen to lose that much weight. And so I did lose a few pounds. But then on the other hand, some other people, they lost a lot more. Other ones didn't lose anything. But it gave you a good education of what you can eat and what you shouldn't eat. And then they talk about how much. Now getting on to Wegovy. Once I got through that, you want to make sure that you mention to them in the MOVE program that you want to get on Wegovy or one of the diet drugs. This is where it kind of gets a little bit frustrating. At least it was frustrating for me. I talked to the therapist at for the MOVE program, or for the MOVE program. I also talked to my physician, or my primary care physician. I also talked to a cardiologist who had been treated me briefly after having a mini stroke. And then I ended up going back and talking to another one of my primary care givers who was filling in after my original one had left. She in turn got a hold of the pharmacy physician. That's the person that you want to talk to. That's probably going to be one of your final steps. And once you talk to that physician, and they will make an appointment to contact you. And when you do, just be straight up and forward with them and tell them what you want. And you will meet with that physician, and it's just a phone call. It's not even virtual. It's just a phone call. And he or she will ask you several questions, and they'll ask you a lot of things about your weight. They'll ask you about your general health. They'll ask you if you have sugar. A lot of just general questions and that sort of thing. What my pharmacy physician said to do, or decided what he was going to do, was he was going to put me on the Wegovy, and that was the 0.25. Oh, got a little something lined up there for you. Milligrams. And that he was going to have me start that out on the first month. They send you one of these boxes every month. They're not refillable. They decide how much they're going to send you after every time they chat with you. And in the box you'll get 4 pens like this. And let's see, make sure I've got that showing right. Yep, 4 pens like that. Now you'll see in this one, let's see if you can see, yeah, see where it's yellow in there? Now this is one that I've already taken. I think this is the one I took this morning. You'll inject yourself once a week. You pick the day, you can do it just about any time. And you just kind of follow the instructions that they give you. And you'll find that it'll start helping you. Now, I'm not going to say it's going to be gangbusters on the first week or two. What I noticed when I started taking it a week ago, which I started a week ago today, I didn't notice an awful lot. And I found that by monitoring my calorie intake, I was more conscious about it because I was on this system. And the one thing I was told, and you'll be told all kinds of different things as far as online or talking to anybody else that's been ever trying it, that you'll have side effects. I haven't noticed any side effects. But I also was careful where I didn't overeat. I watched my diet. I was eating good things. I was eating, vegetables, and I was eating some fruit. And I watched my protein. I made sure I didn't eat a lot of fats. And what fats I did eat, I made sure they were good fats. And so by watching my diet, that seemed to help me get through this first week. Now, I'm not afraid to say I kind of overdid it the week before I started, and so my weight went up, and I was up to about 267 pounds. Now, I'm 6'1". I'm also a male, obviously, and I'm 74 years old. Or at least I will be this coming Saturday. Anyway, I watched my diet, and I ate I try to keep my calorie count right around 1,700. And they'll say women or females should be around 1,500, men should be around 1,700 calorie intake. I tried to maintain 1,700. I might be a little low on one day and I was a little up on the next day or whatever, but I tried to maintain that. And I tried to watch all the videos, or I watched several videos that kind of gave me, some good ideas or good recommendations as far as the foods, the side effects, and how to avoid them. Some of the stuff I found true, some of them not. So, case in point, one of them said that to make sure that your pens are at room temperature before you take your shot. No, it doesn't matter. It didn't matter for me and anybody else I've ever talked to. It hasn't bothered them either when I taken a cold shot. So, after that, basically, I just kind of watched it, and I checked my weight every day. And I checked my weight every morning, basically, when I got up, before I got in the shower or after I got out of the shower. So, and I watched my weight drop down from 267 down to 259. Now, it would jump up maybe half a pound once in a while, but then it would drop back down again. And so I can't say that the pen was primarily responsible for that because it's only been 1 week. I think what it was a lot was my monitoring my diet a lot closer than what I normally do. And so my whole problem is portion control, and I was watching my portions and I was watching what I was eating. And so again, this is all things that you would learn in time. But these are basically the steps that I took. In short, I'll touch base with a little bit as far as the shots. Everybody worries about the shots. These shots are very easy to take. Again, if there's no yellow in there, you know that it's ready to go. You don't have to shake it or anything. All you do is you pull the cap off. Then you push the shot or the needle into, you can either put it into your arm, you can put it into your belly, right around the navel area, or you can put it into your thigh. They recommend you don't do it at the same point. However, you put that in, you press it down. It doesn't take an awful lot of pressure, but you just press it down into the location. You'll hear a click, and then you'll hear a second click. Excuse me. I count to 10. They say wait 10 seconds. So I just count to 10. Once I've counted to 10, I take it off. And so, of course, before I do anything, I'll take an alcohol pad or swab and I'll kind of wipe off the area. So that's basically what my thoughts are as far as using the Wegovy. I'm going to try every week or two to kind of upload another video about this to help my fellow veterans as far as answering questions. Excuse me again. But to help my fellow veterans as well as anybody else who happens to watch about taking the Wegovy, and especially what steps as a veteran that you're probably going to need to take before you can go on the pen. And so now one other thing that I did learn is that through the MOVE program, they did discuss the Wegovy system as well as two other types of medication to take. Those I don't have any answers on. All I can say is they'll touch base with you on it. There's basically 3 forms of medication that the VA supplies you with. And so, as for me, They asked if I wanted to try the Wegovy. They felt that that would probably be the best for me, so that's why I'm on it today. As time goes on, eventually you go from 0.25 to 0.50, and then they kind of work it up. I think the top dosage is 2.4. I'm not sure, but the physician will make that decision. And so the whole thing is to get into the program and to follow it, follow this diet system where it best helps you lose weight as well as maintain, your body in a healthy condition. You don't want to hurt yourself. And by having somebody watching over you like this, that's what works best. And the best thing about it is through the VA, it doesn't cost you $400 or $600. Don't quote me. I think I haven't got it yet, and I will advise as soon as I do get my statement from the VA for my copays. I believe it's going to be about $8 or $10. I will, but don't hold me to it. I will let you know as soon as I find out what it works for me. Again, I think everybody's a little different. I hope I've answered some questions from my fellow veterans. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please subscribe. And most of all, thanks for watching. And please, if you have questions or comments, whether good or bad, please let me know. I love comments, and I'll answer every one of them.